They just have an acreage. They're not afraid of it. They can't participate, so. But yeah,
Like I say,
and this isn't forever.
that's moving in. Here we have the towers moving in on you. There's a difference.
No, they already exist, and he's
already
lived there.
exist down there, but they don't exist here. That's what I'm saying. Here, these towers are going to move in on our people. There, your daughter is moving in by the towers.
No, he already lives there, but
okay,
yeah.
Well, whatever.
But these aren't forever either. I mean, they do decommission them after 25, 30 years, and
I think there's
then they're gone.
there's an option to go to 50 years.
yeah, but I don't know that the technology is there yet. But none of the wind leases go for 50 years.
There's the option on the leases to go to 50 years.
I don't think they go to 50. They can go to 40.
Well.
But yeah,
the ones down in Dual County, I've seen it on there. Because I've read.
Each landowner's prerogative. If you
Yeah,
want to tell them,
right.
no, I'm only going to go 30 years. You write it up that way,
No,
they'll do it.
It's
No, they are negotiable.
Okay. All right. Well.
That's up to the property owner. Yeah.
But it is in some of the contracts. That
yeah, each
they
property
have
owner has to look out for
they
their
have
own
the ability to extend it.
Only if you give them that ability.
Madam Chair, there's a motion on the floor to increase the setback from 1,500 to 3/4 of a mile for non-participating residences, businesses, church, schools, and buildings. Is there further discussion on the motion?
Any other further discussion on that motion?
Being that this is an amendment that can be done on a voice vote, and then you can determine whether or not a roll call vote is needed.
I would like a roll call vote on the motion to increase the non-participating to 3/4 of a mile.
A yes vote would mean you're going to increase it to
Yes.
3/4 of a mile.
Correct. Call the roll.
Mock.
No.
Adler's not here. Sparks.
Yes.
Hanson.
No.
Pulaski.
Yes.
Johnson.
No.
Letty.
No.
4 noes, 2 yeses.
The motion fails. There's still opportunities from the board to make additional amendments to the motion as initially presented by Commissioner Letty.
We have a motion to, I'm sorry.
I'm going to make an amendment to increase the setback to 5/8.
The motion is to amend the motion presented by Mr. Letty to adopt as presented, to amend table 1211-1 WPS setbacks from 1,500 feet to 5/8 of a mile, which if the math is right is about 5280 times 5 divided by 8, 3,300. Basically,
Motion, is there a second?
is there a second to that motion?
Yes.
Motion by, second by Sparks. Discussion on the
Any other
motion.
discussion?
I got a question for the board. When those that went, remember who all went down to Lake Benton and we pulled into Mr. Nichols' yard. Did we know right then when you looked at that tower how far away it was without asking? Did you tell?
Yes. It was in the papers, the handout. That
Did you believe that?
Yeah.
That was pretty, it was,
I couldn't even find the tower. We got out of the bus and the trees were blocking.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw when we came up there, and there's towers all over. I'm sorry, but I think we're just arguing here to be arguing, and it's really ridiculous.
We have a motion, amended motion to increase it to 5/8 of a mile, which is,
Call for discussion.
any other discussion relevant to the motion? other discussion?
Yes.
All right,
You have the ability now to ask for a roll call or a voice vote.
okay. We'll do a roll. Please.
Okay, so non-participants to 3/4 of a mile, or to
3,300,
300 feet.
yeah, 3,300 feet, 5/8.
Adler's gone. Sparks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Hanson,
No.
Pulaski,
Yes.
Johnson,
No,
Leddy, Mock.
No.
4 no. 2 yes.
The motion fails for, on a 4-2 vote. We are back to the original motion. The board has the opportunity to still amend the original motion.
I make a motion to amend. Half mile.
A half mile, 2,640 feet, has been offered to table 1211-1 WES setbacks from non-participating residences, business, churches, or school buildings owned or operated by a governmental entity, 2,640 feet, businesses.
do we have a second?
Yes.
There is a motion and a second.
Any other discussion?
I just would like to really point out the fact that the difference between participating and non-participating, there should be some protection from being basically, I don't know how the right word to say, but abused a little bit. I really feel that. I think that they should have a few more rights, basically because they are not participating. If the participating feels that he is in a position where he is not going to have a problem and is comfortable with that, that is fine. But he's asking his neighbor now to do the same thing that he's doing. And it's not fair. I feel it's not fair. I feel it's,
I think the participating with the 1,500 feet would be, since they're gonna be a participating and they would waiver that to come closer, I mean, they're the ones that should maybe negotiate more payment if that's the case, but, I mean, it's pretty,
And we
1,500
could
feet
have
is
left the participating one at
1,000, well, and if
1,000.
that's.
And we moved them both up.
If
I
that's
think
what
we can move
Tom's
it back down.
asking for, I mean, is just a distinguished,
One distinguishing, difference, we move it back down.
Motion is 2,640
Is
feet
there any
of
other-
non-participating.
any other discussion on that motion? Shall we vote, or, any other discussion on the motion to increase it to a half a mile?
Being that there's no motion, I'll call for a roll call or a voice vote.
We can do a roll call vote, please?
Hanson, how do you vote? It would be non-participating to 2640, no? Pulaski,
yes.
Johnson,
No?
Leddy,
No.
Mock,
No.
Sparks.
Yes.
4-2, no.
Motion fails. We are back to the original motion made by Letty to approve as laid out in the previous document. There's opportunity still yet to make amendments to the motion as made.
I would make an amendment that we would increase it 500 feet.
To 2,000. Motion is to make a setback of 2,000 feet from non-participating residences, business, churches, or school buildings owned and operated by a governmental entity.
Do I have a second on the amended motion?
Yes.
Motion has been made and seconded.
All right, is there any other discussion on that motion? Any other board discussion on the motion? Increase it to 2,000. Any other discussion pertaining to the motion? We would do a roll vote on that.
2,000 feet for do you vote?
Yes.
Johnson,
No,
Leddy,
No.
Mock,
No.
Sparks,
Yes.
4-2. Fails.
So you didn't ask
You gotta
that,
vote.
You missed.
Hanson, sorry.
Mr. Hanson said no. 4-2, the motion fails. We are back to the original motion to approve as presented. There are still opportunities to make amendments to that motion.
I make a motion to amend 250 feet.
1750. The motion is to increase the setback from 1,500 feet to 1,750 feet. Table 1211-1, wind energy system setbacks, non-participating residence, business, church, school, building owned and operated by a governmental entity. Madam Chair.
do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded.
Seconded by Sparks. And is there any discussion on the motion? To increase it to 1,750?
That wouldn't cause a big fuss, I don't think, would it? I mean,
It's given a little bit more, let's try to give them something, I think, yes.
I think I'd be more inclined to decrease the participating 1,250 feet than to 1,250 feet and leave it at.
You know, in all
You
our
have the motion
earlier
that-
discussions, we arrived at this number. I mean,
Exactly.
we were comfortable with it. There's
Well-
nothing that we heard over the course of the last two meetings that have changed my thoughts at all. We took into balance, you know, I hear what you're doing, but it just, I don't know what we're doing. We have a solid program. to
This
move
has
forward.
been ongoing. This is not something that started.
But I'm really worried about this not even looking at the county when they're, you know, we've already made them pretty strict. I mean, compared to what it was,
But we're still trying to protect people. You know, we're,
but you're protecting, we're also protecting the property owners too. We need to look at that, and it's
you
just kind of-
you can't come out and build,
I mean, it's gotta be a balance.
feedlot without a permit and without a whole bunch of stuff. You can't move any industry out of town out into the country just because you own a piece of property that you can't move an industry out on your property.
Yeah, and
This is why we have the zoning, is to protect people. And
And
I
that's-
don't think we're doing our job.
but that's why we are creating the rules. They have to abide by the rules. And we have our
But-
rules for CAFOs and we, you know.
But I think, we're suggesting that your rules are a little bit lax.
You know, we're all not, we voted this way 2 sessions ago. We had the same vote, same thing. Majority, you know, and we came to the 1,500.
But we also had a vote last week that went to the 3/4. And then
Not
with
on
a
the-
different board.
That wasn't an ordinance.
No, no, no.
That wasn't the
Oh,
ordinance.
yes, that wasn't the ordinance, but it was the same thing. Because if we would have once established it, you pretty much stay with it.
And I just feel it's going to hurt more people than help. That's my perspective, but we need this development, and I mean, there's so much more. There's people who can't participate, but totally believe in renewable energy. I mean,
Well, I believe
you
in
know,
renewable
and this
energy.
is-
I'm not arguing about the renewable energy. I'm arguing about protecting some people.
And Tom,
It sounds-
I think we are. So, just because you don't think we are, doesn't mean the rest of us don't think that we are. And I think there's plenty of people in the county who think we are. So, you know what, we put a lot of time and a lot of effort, and we arrived at a number that we were comfortable with, as Mike said, at a 5-2 vote, many times. And I've heard nothing over the course of the last 2 meetings that changed my thought pattern. We're protecting the interests of the county, which includes participators, non-participators. Let's move forward.
It's something.
Do we have any
Give
other?
them something.
We
Any
have,
discussion?
Tom,
500 feet.
we increased.
But the towers are much taller,
That's why we went 500
That's
feet.
why we went 500 feet.
and then they'll probably
And there's
get,
a lot-
they'll
there's a lot
probably
less
get
of-
taller in the future.
And then they'll be back here again.
There are a lot less of them.
Yeah, then they then it just is a lot less. It doesn't, their footprint has gotten smaller, even so, and the technology
That should be a
changes.
good thing. The Summit Wind Farm said under old technology, they would have had 200 towers, right? And now it's 70. Isn't that a good thing?
Yep,
Probably.
yep. So, any other discussion pertaining to the motion to increase it to 1750?
Motion is to increase to 1750. We may ask for a voice or roll call.
Should we do a roll vote again, please?
Johnson,
No?
Liddy,
No.
Mock,
No.
Sparks,
Yes,
Hanson,
No,
Pulaski,
Yes.
4-2.
The motion has failed. We are back to the motion originally proposed by Commissioner Leddy. There are still opportunities to make amendments to the ordinance, not only in the wind energy setback section, but other sections as well that so proposed.
So is there any other discussion on Mark's motion? That there needs to be some changes?
where are we sitting at as far as, if a tower goes bad, and then they wanna put in a different tower, or change the tower at all? Can there be any change, or does it have to come in at the same place? The same
location,
nameplate, the same,
The physical location of the tower?
no, not the physical location. They stay, because they've got everything in the ground, okay, if they wanna increase the height by 50 feet or 100 feet.
Yeah, they can't do that. They've been,
But
their plan.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, they can't.
Is
Yeah.
that,
Not
Okay.
once their permit has been approved at the PUC, correct?
Well, you know, let's talk about the county zoning,
Oh,
not
okay.
what's going on at the PUC level. The county zoning and the application, let's take the last one that was before you last week. In that application, it told you what the hub size was gonna be, the rotor diameter.
yes,
So that is what they are asking for, and that's what you're granting in the permit. To come in with something bigger, then that would require them to come back before the board. That's my professional opinion. They wanted to do something smaller or less, theoretically, I think they would need to come back to the board too, because they're asking, they're saying, we are putting in turbines in this range.
okay,
So
That's-
anything outside that ask is a different request.
Yeah, whatever is on their permit application has to, that's what you're
The
approving.
PUC is another issue, but I think, again, I'm not gonna speak to what the PUC has to say.
It would be no different than if you were.
It's a very good question.
I've got a question on, just concerned about the decommissioning plan,
On
10B,
10B,
and not really, it says within 120 days of completion of construction, permittees shall submit a decommissioning plan. And if you go down to C, when they talk about decommissioning and escrow account or letter of credit or whatever we end up with there, it would be at least 30 days prior to construction. I'm just curious why we would have two different timetables, and maybe they should be one timetable.
Well, it's requiring their letter of credit
Right.
to set up the account, or an escrow. financial assurance of what it's gonna cost. Is that correct?
I just wanna make sure we don't have a conflict.
Yeah.
At least 3 days prior to the construction, the applicant shall file a plan with the board for board approval that provides an acceptable financial assurance plan. So I'm filing the plan 30 days prior, and it says within 120 days of completion of construction, the firm shall submit to a county commissioner.
I just kinda feel that that should be one.
You know what, Tom, I'm going to tend to agree that I think there's some duplicitous language there that is contradictory, and,
30 days prior and 120 days of completion?
at least 3 days ahead, I'm gonna file a plan. I just gotta file the plan within 30 days. Within 220 days of completion, the firm shall submit to a completion plan described in that. I think that contradicts each other. I guess the question would be, that the language probably is, rather than saying within 120 days of completion of construction, permit shall submit to, take the bottom sentence and then put that up there and then still reference, I think there is some language change that could make that a little bit cleaner. Let me go back here and take a quick, let me just see if I can come up with something. I would almost recommending where you see the last sentence on letter A, where it says at least 30 days prior to construction, you were to take that and what the plan shall contain, numbers 1 through 9, insert that into letter B,
And skip.
and strike the conflicting language. Where you would strike the within 120 days of completion, the permittee shall submit to the county decommissioning plan describing attorneys. We take the first sentence out. Still have to reference site D. We still have to, we have to put that in accordance. So we will turn around and say, at least 30 days prior to construction, the applicant shall file a plan. Let me just insert. This makes what you're talking about. Alright, so it would state that at least 30 days prior to the construction, the applicant shall file a plan in accordance with the requirements of paragraph D below with the board, or a board, I would just say, let me take that. Accordance with paragraph with the board, we'll leave it for now. The board provides an acceptable financial assurance plan. The plan shall contain this, and this, right? Then the plan